Wales and England, folks. Wales 10, England 20. It's an away win for England. Not a bonus point, but 3 tries to 1. Pretty, I don't want to say convincing, but comfortable enough win over a Welsh team which had a heck of a lot of disruption going into this one. But for them, ultimately, kind of the misery goes on. But yeah, we'll go through some key events and stats and whatnot. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how the game went. A little bit of a scare for kind of both sides early. A little bit disorganised, and I feel like the error rate in this game was a bit high, but that's probably partly coaching changes and disruptions and whatnot for both sides, right? Both these sides are kind of in that unique position, and it doesn't seem to be helping them, at least in the short term. Farrell got charged down early. It was kind of a chance for old Faletau, but I mean, Freddie Steward got back and cleaned things up, even if he did lose his shorts partially in the process. And then the Welsh backfield was just disorganised when England had a free kick. They put up a bomb and then just nobody wanted it. It was, just disorganised, as I say. So a little bit disconcerting. First points on the board for Owen Farrell in 9 minutes. Long range penalty. Slots that one pretty comfortably. Looks like it's going to be a pretty comfortable night for him off the tee, but no, he misses a lot of points in this one. So the scoreboard could have been even further out if he'd nailed some of his kicks. But England had a lot of possession, so they're kind of good value for their 3-0 lead early. And then, I mean, concerningly for the Welsh guys, man, they got turned over a lot in this game. I mean, Willis got the first one, breakdown penalty to stop the kind of initial Welsh attack, but then England did concede a penalty of their own, a really soft one for obstruction from the resulting play. So that was kind of, again, a little bit what I'm talking about maybe just that cohesion level from both sides kind of not quite being there. Tshiunza knocked it on in his own half, which was kind of directly leading to the first try of the match, actually. I mean, it wasn't a play that was not on, but it's just one of those ones where when it happens, it's the territorial position to be doing that was not ideal for them. So it gives England a scrum in attacking territory. They make the most of it, man. A couple of phases. I think Malins has the first kind of big carry, and then they get wide ball to Watson, who goes over. So conversion missed, but off the post, I think, to be fair. So 8 points to 0. England early, looking like, I don't want to say putting Wales to the sword, but at least getting some points on the board, whereas Wales, up till this point, haven't really looked like scoring. That being said, England, from the restart, they conceded a penalty, which is just such a soft one. I mean, you'll be pulling your hair out if you're a coach, because you've just scored 5 points and then you give away 3, so your try essentially becomes a 2-pointer. Just a really soft penalty, and then, with Wales getting the 3 points, I don't know, really frustrating. So 8 points to 3. That's still a decent enough England lead, I guess. There's just knock-ons from both sides, or especially England. England knocked on a lot of ball in that first half. Sealing off penalties, just stuff which was not the easiest on the eye, but I mean, I got to admit, I did love the breakdown work, especially England, but I mean, some of the Welsh guys were getting involved in that as well. England won a scrum penalty on 31 minutes on a Welsh feed. They opted for a 3, but they missed that one. Halfpenny kept getting smashed. They kept kicking Halfpenny the ball. And there's a couple of times where he catches it clean, only just to get absolutely flattened less than a second later. So kind of perfect timing from the England chasers. But I mean, good on Halfpenny. He's a veteran. He's taken a few hits in the past, but he kept getting back up and he kept catching those high balls. 35 minutes, though, it was the Welsh turn to win a scrum penalty, which they had a chance to attack from before half-time. They go 20 phases before Dombrant wins a penalty at the breakdown. So a bit kind of shake your head stuff if you're a Welsh fan. And then again before half-time they have another chance. It's 9 phases this time, but this time it's Ludlam who wins a penalty at the breakdown. So be it Willis, be it Dombrant, or be it Ludlam, they're all turning them over. So the Welsh attack was just looking, I don't know, a little bit too blunt to break the English defence. Half-time possession and territory. Wales have had the possession, 55%. England has just edged the territory, but just barely. Run meters is 183 to 206, with England edging that. Not the highest count, but Yeah. Part of that is down to the fact that Wales' tackling percent's 89 and England's is 92. So both pretty impressive numbers. It's basically a match where the defences are on top. Neither of the attacks has kind of looked that flash. Knock-ons, though, 7-1. England have knocked it on 7 times. Horrendous. Second half, Rees-Zammit gets the only try of the game for Wales. And it's a bit sad that that's the only try because it doesn't come from them working through any moves. It doesn't come from them building something. It doesn't come from a nice set play. It just comes from an intercept. I mean, great intercept. He reads it really well. Malins pops a little ball out and Rees-Zammit just gobbles it up and he's gone. You're never going to catch that guy. So it's a great for the game moment because, Wales were behind and now they're in front. They're in front 10 points to 8 and they've not really looked like scoring up until that point. As I said, they had a heap of phases in the first half but never really looked like generating a genuine try-scoring chance. And that one comes. Can they kind of build on it? Well, not that well. I mean, England do get a chance down the other end on 43 minutes, and it's a weird one because England's maul has done really well last week against Italy, or a fortnight ago. But they didn't maul it. But they still got a try from it. It's like they're going to maul, but they don't maul. It's kind of like a little bit of maybe a bit of reverse psychology because you're sure England's going to maul it. But they go to some little set play out the back. Genji has a big carry. They go through some phases. And eventually, Sinclair goes over on 45 minutes. So it basically cancels out the try that Wales have just scored. So England are in front 15 points to 10. And the England fans at that point in the crowd are really out voicing the Welsh fans, which is a bit concerning as well. I don't know how many times I've heard Swing Low's Sweet Chariot being belted out in Cardiff, but they belted it out a few times and you could really notice it on the audio that I had anyway. Unfortunately for Owen Williams as well, in his, was it his first start at 10 for Wales? He has to go off injured, so Biggar comes on. It would be nice to see Williams get a few more minutes, but he looks to have hurt his hip. There's more mistakes, man. Rees-Zammit drops a ball, which is kind of coming his way out on the wing, gives England a chance. Wales concede another penalty at the scrum. England opt for another 3. Farrell misses it. So more cases of guys, executing normal things that they would execute properly. Just, Rees-Zammit catching a ball and Owen Farrell kicking from the tee. These are things that usually are pretty set in stone, but nope, they were both mucking them up. Alun Wyn-Jones won a penalty to break down, which I thought maybe that's going to be a momentum shifter because they were able to get themselves up the field. But Wales got turned over again. I think it was just a loose pass that time. And then was it Lawrence that snapped it up? Van Poortvliet kicked long. Wales are having to kind of scramble back. Halfpenny drops Owen Farrell up and under at one point. So England go through some phases. But then Tipuric gets them out of jail. So that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of, I guess you would just call them unforced errors. Or maybe it's just slightly being pressured errors that you would normally expect these guys to do better. But the one thing, as I mentioned, there were some bloody nice turners. If you like turnovers, this was the game for you. Like Tipuric, like Dombrandt, like Ludlam. There was a lot. I think even Farrell had one. Wales line-out overthrow is not helping things. Malins chased through a Henry Slade kick, which was another chance that kind of went begging. But they did get one more try than England. It was maybe their best one of the game. It was 14 phases. It was pretty sweet. Malins had a nice carry out on the right wing, and then they managed to shift it back the other way. Slade went close, and then the next phase, Lawrence was able to go over a bit further left. So still had time to chase the bonus point at England, but they never really looked like getting it done. Arundel came on with a minute to go. I never see the point that much in giving a guy 1 minute. I guess he gets an appearance fee. But giving a guy 40 seconds, especially in a game when you're up by more than a score. But anyway, they only scored the point. They could have given him 4 minutes. Bring Arundel on with 4 minutes to go. Why 30 seconds or whatever it was? But anyway, he goes into touch of the death. So there's no final one. Alex Mitchell looked good when he came on. He was kind of part of that Lawrence try, keeping the quick service. Steward had the final pass. But it was probably the best try of the game. Maybe the Watson one as well was also pretty nice from the scrum. But yeah, it was. I wouldn't say this one's going to go down as a classic. There was, as I said, a few too many errors. But as I said, with the state of the two teams, I don't think that's totally unexpected. Neither of these sides is going to win the Six Nations, and Wales at this point have got an away trip to Italy, which is suddenly looking like a pretty bloody important game. Run meters finished 351 to 369, so not a lot in it. Possessions 51-49, so again, not a lot in it. England, though, territory 56 to Wales was 44, and especially in the second half, it was like 65-35. So England, I think, in the arm wrestle, did start to get some dominance in that second half. Clean breaks is 6-3 to England. Turnovers conceded, though, 18-8. England lost a lot of ball, including 12 knock-ons. So imagine if they'd been able to hang on to a bit more ball, or if Owen Farrell had kicked it better than 33%, England certainly get more points on the board than they did. Tackling percentages, both sides 92%. So, yeah, that's like a pleasing thing in itself. Sometimes you just need to appreciate guys making big tackles. But yeah, it'd be nice to see fewer knock-ons. 167 tackles by Wales, 177 by England. So, yeah. Rees-Zammit 110 metres run, including that intercept, which would be a few of them. 2 clean breaks and 3 defenders beaten. Tipuric makes 17 out of 17 tackles. So a nice kind of performance from him. Better than in round 1, that's for sure. Freddie Steward gets man of the match, 72 metres, 2 defenders beaten. A try assist, his work under the high ball, obviously. He dropped 1 that hit his shoulder. Itoje makes 20 out of 23 tackles, so he's England, and I think the game's top tackler. But yeah, I mentioned Wales have got an away trip to Italy in a fortnight's time, and England are at home to France, which will probably be a different kettle of fish from what this game was like. But yeah, as I said, probably not a classic, but certainly a good win for England in terms of getting their structures and whatnot set up under a new coach. And a week off is certainly going to help get his boys, and hopefully a bit more on the field stuff or on the training pitch stuff to talk about rather than all the off the field dramas, which was probably so distracting. So there you go, folks. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game. If you want England Rugby gear, they always have England Rugby sales after a win. So check the link down in the description for England Rugby store. I'm sure there's some kind of sale on. But anyway, you guys take care of yourselves. I'm going to go make my kids some breakfast. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.